Good morning, students. Myself, Mrs. Mamta Yadav, and today I will take your first class of history, that is, when, where, and how. Let us start the chapter. What is history? Do you know what is history? History can be defined as a systematic and careful study of past events. A person who conducts such studies and records the findings is called a historian. So, what is history? History is nothing but a careful and systematic study of the past events. History can be divided into three time periods, that is, history, prehistory, and proto history. History essentially signifies the period of time for which written records are available. By studying history, we can know the precise dates of events that took place millennia ago. The reason is that when these events occurred, they were documented in the writings of historians. Inventions of the cart and the wheel, the discovery of fire, etc., are some of the most important events of our past. Students, history essentially signifies the period of time for which written records are available. All the past period is not referred as history. Only the past events which have definite written records are known as history. And by studying history, we can know the exact dates of the events that took place millions of years ago. Now, what is prehistory? The entire period before recorded history is called prehistory. It means in this period there was no recorded or written evidences of history. Thus, prehistory encompasses the entire period from the time when human like beings appeared till the time when the practice of recording past events began. Means it is that period which was before the period when people started recording the past events. To understand prehistory, we depend on material remains on the past, like bones, tools, weapons, coins, etc. And these things are also known as the artifacts. Now, what is protohistory? Between prehistory and the historical period, there was a period for which we have no direct evidences. We have some written evidences, but these written evidences are not till now deciphered. So it is known as, that's why it is called that we don't have any direct written evidences available from the contemporary sources. Such period is known as the proto history. It comes after prehistory and before prehistory, in which we have some evidences of the past, including the written evidences, but that written evidences are not clear and till now not deciphered. Now, what is the importance of studying the past events, or why do we should study history? The study of past makes us understand who we are, what we are at present, and why we live, think, and act the way we do today. By reading history, we gather knowledge about how the modern world has evolved over centuries following a continuous process of development. How human beings they have achieved development, this all we can know only through our past events or by studying history. Other important or other importance of history is that the study of historical past is also helpful in solving some of the problems we are facing even today. Say, for example, history teaches us that wars should be avoided because they have long lasting harmful effects and are destructive. So, from if we study history, we will know that how wars are destructive and we should never go for any kind of war in future. Next is chronology of events. The past events are arranged in order of time. That is, the event that happened first are followed by the event that happened afterwards. This order is known as the chronology of events. Now, what is timeline? Timeline is the is the graphical representation of historical events in a chronological order. It looks like a long bar and is used to show the events along a period of time. Generally, the historical events are always presented graphically through a timeline. See this timeline of history? I hope it is clear. Now, next move to our next topic. Our next topic is sources of history. Sources of history can be broadly divided into two parts: archaeological sources and literary sources. Archaeological sources include inscriptions, monuments, coins, other objects, and artifacts. Literary sources include religious and secular texts, indigenous and foreign sources, literary texts composed in unknown script. Let's study about these sources in detail. First is inscriptions. Writings on the pillars, rocks, cave walls, walls of forts, clay tablets, metal plates, houses, and tombs are called inscriptions. Inscriptions can be written in the various languages and in various scripts. Monuments. Old buildings such as forts, palaces, temples, mosques, etc., which were built for some special purpose, are called monuments. The study of old monuments show the artistic skill of that time, the social life, their religious belief, their culture, etc. Coins. In ancient India, the coins were made of different materials such as bronze, lead, copper, silver, and gold. Through these coins, scholars gathered information about the period when they were issued as well as about the rulers who issued them. Coins inform us that many kingdoms of ancient India had commercial relation with the other countries of the world. Other objects and artifacts. Other archaeological sources, such as tools, pieces of pottery, sculptures, paintings, ornaments, etc., they are used as valuable supplementary sources for additional information on the people who created them and the times in which they were made. So, these are the main archaeological sources of history. Now, let's move towards the literary sources. Literary sources includes both the written and the non-written, that is oral records of the past. Most of the literary sources are handwritten, that is are manuscript. Manuscript contains invaluable information about our past and tells us about the social customs, institutions, classes, professions, religious beliefs and practices, etc., that prevailed in ancient time. These texts have been written in Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit, or Tamil languages. Literary sources can be religious literature or the secular literature. Literary texts on the religious subjects are called religious literature. The Vedas, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Gita, the Purana, and the Jataka tales are the important sources of an Indian history. And these all comes in the religious literature. What is secular literature? Literature that has no connection with religion is called secular literature. It includes poetry, drama, plays, travelogues or accounts of foreign travelers, and texts on science, grammar, and politics. Say, for example, the famous Earth Shastra by Kautilya and Harsa Charita by Banapatta are the famous secular literature of ancient India. Next is indigenous and foreign sources. Many foreign investors came to India at different point of time. They closely observed the Indian way of living, traditions, practices and people and recorded their experiences in the form of travelogues and accounts. These are also very good source of Indian history. For example, Indica by Megasthenes, it provides important information about the reign of Chandragupta Maurya, his excellent administration, and other examples are the accounts of the Chinese travelers like Fa Hien, Huizeng, Aiseng, etc. The last literary source is literary sources with unknown scripts. Students, there are some ancient literary sources whose scripts has not been deciphered so far. The Harappan script, which continues to be a historical riddle, can be cited as the most important striking incident. Do you know about the Harappan civilization? The people of Harappan civilization, they were also knowing the art of writing, but their script is still a historical riddle, means a puzzle for the historians, because no one still now is able to understand the meaning of the Harappan script. So, students, these are the various sources of Indian history. I hope it is clear. I have some home assignment also, like define the terms artifacts, manuscripts, prehistory and protohistory. Some questions like what are monuments? Give some examples, or how are the secular literary sources different from the religious literary sources. Do all this assignment and go through the video once again. If you have any doubt, we will meet in our next class. Until then, thank you.